Oops.
Damn, hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy,
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, hustling, hustling. Every
Welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And I just pressed the wrong button. And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting the share. Let's get right into the action because we got a lot to cover today. Okay. Coinbase joins the S&P 500. This is a massive deal. The first only crypto exclusive company to ever join the S&P 500. And by the way, too, what this means is this is indirectly the biggest DCA of all time is people's 401k. So they get these 401k matches. Part of their income goes into their 401k, which guess what? Buys the S&P, which is now Coinbase is going to be in there. And guess what that means? It means indirect DCA from the entire world population, or at least the American population, that will be going into Coinbase, which will be going into Bitcoin. So this is a big deal. Very, very big deal. Exciting news. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, says the first and only crypto company to join the S&P 500. Crypto is here to stay. And of course, they were kind of trolling a little bit. They says, as the saying goes, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then they add you to the S&P 500 or something like that. Breaking news. United States cuts tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to 30% for 90 days. China lowers tariffs on the U.S. from 125% to 10% for 90 days. Again, I've been talking about this. Whether you like the Orange Man or not, I don't care. Okay, I don't care if you worship him or he makes you physically ill. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in neither camp. But what I've been saying since April, the charts show me the charts. I will tell you the news. The charts show me that we are bottoming and that this is going to be a good thing. Did I predict that they were going to do what percent, this percent, and that percent? No, I did not. But I predicted that we bottomed, and it must mean that this is going to be a net positive for the entire world. And that is what it looks to be as of right now. Okay, we'll see. I'm going to keep following this. But this is a good thing for not only China, but America, but for crypto, but for stocks, everything, everywhere, all at once. This is a very, very, very big deal. No, it is not 100x leverage time, though. All right, Meta launching stablecoins on the Ethereum this year. 3.5 billion users to be onboarded. Again, this is basically like on-chain, but on steroids. Okay? Maybe we're going to get Sonic listed on Facebook or Meta. Who knows what's in the cards. But this is a big deal. Very, very, it cannot be overstated. Facebook is a top 10 company onboarding cryptocurrency with 3.5 billion users. Massive, massive deal for crypto. BlackRock files redemptions for Ethereum Trust enabling direct ETH buybacks. I think that Ethereum has been, we've been talking about this for a long time, that Ethereum has just been beaten down, brutalized, murdered who? And that they're way oversold. I'm in a long on Ethereum right now, up 100+% on 3x. You don't need crazy leverage to get crazy gains, okay? Spot gold drops 3% after U.S. and China strikes a deal to cut tariffs. Again, I said I sold 30% of my gold at 3,300. I said that I think that gold has topped. This is good for stocks and crypto. And I'm a big holder of gold. I love gold. I buy silver every single week. I know that gold going parabolic is not good for crypto, and it's not good for stocks. Okay? And with that, let's get into the charts and the crypto. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Ethereum, XRP, ADA, Chainlink, and then we'll get into your guys' questions, comments, and concerns. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin is sitting at $102,000. I said all dips are for buying. I said that we got red hot on the 5 hour. We have now drastically cooled off back to neutral. This is a good spot. I think if we're lucky, we can get back to the 702, which is going to be about 100K if we are lucky. But again, all dips are for buying. I am not going to be greedy for dips at all. There's a lot of support over here when we go back, and the 702 is a critical level. Breaking above the 702, which is $100,000, and back testing it, I think is a very, very good thing. And I'm looking for opportunities. This is opportunities. It is the full moon. Happy full moon. When is the local bottoms? Generally today. So to me, this might be some good buying opportunities in the next couple of days going long. Ultimately, though, in the macro, this is your accumulation, Wyckoff accumulation, which is the bottom structure. You have your selling climax, your secondary test, and your spring. We've already gotten the sign of strength. And we're, in fact, in my opinion, starting phase E, which is the mark up, which will ultimately take us to $118,000. Bitcoin going from 100,000 to 118,000, that's not earth shattering. But Bitcoin going from 100,000 to 118,000 is earth shattering for the altcoins, which we've been talking about this ad nauseum. But finally, we've been talking about this for a long time. Everyone doubted. Everyone did not believe. I never gave up hope. I never gave up faith, because this is distribution. Buying climax, textbook up thrust goes higher than the buying climax. Textbook up UTAD goes higher than the up thrust. This is textbook. I have been talking about it ad nauseum. Okay, the opposite of accumulation, aka the bottom, is distribution, which is the top. You have buying climax. Up thrust goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD textbook goes higher than the up thrust. I said that we've been working on phase C with Bitcoin dominance, which of course is what measures the percentage that is invested into Bitcoin. We need this to come down while Bitcoin is going higher. What is the stipulation for Altseason? There is one formula, and one formula alone. Sugar, spice, everything nice. What is sugar, spice, and everything nice? Bitcoin must be making an all-time high. That setup is there, and Bitcoin dominance must be falling simultaneously at the same time. Am I saying going 100x leverage long tomorrow? Borrow money from your grandfather, your father-in-law? No. Max out your credit cards? No. It's not what I'm saying. But this is here. Phase C is already in, and we're working on the lower lows and the higher lows. What we can see right here, this is clearly broken trend, and now we are working. Now, this is very overbought at this point, so expect a bounce on Bitcoin dominance, maybe getting back to 64.4, but I anticipate us to come up, roll over, and continue to do this like this, march along. This is phase C. Now we're going to be entering into phase D and then into phase E in Wyckoff. This is phase D. It'll be a little bit more stark. And then phase E is very, very stark. And that's when things are going to get very exciting. From phase A to phase C, which we just confirmed, if we go on the daily chart, I want to tell you how long this actually took. On the daily, though, this is falling starkly. From phase A to phase C, this took us 160 days for perspective, okay? So for us to go from phase C to phase E, we might be looking at another couple of months, 3, 4, 6 months, somewhere in that time frame. It took us 180 days to go from phase A to phase C. Okay, so this is macro analysis, but this is a very big deal. I cannot overstate how big of a deal this is, and part of the reason is because Ethereum has finally gotten its sign of strength. Now it's hot on the micro, so anticipate a back test, getting back to 2200, 2300. Those are buying opportunities. Hear me. Ethereum could textbook back test, breakout back test. That is in the cards, but Ethereum, in my opinion, is in an uptrend now. And if we get, if and when we get back tests for Ethereum, those are long opportunities. Those are buying opportunities. Okay, so Ethereum, hear me, went from 1400 all the way to 26,700. Expect a back test, but those are opportunities, and in my opinion, it's going to be in an uptrend from here. It's very hot on the daily, and perhaps we're starting it a little bit. There's a lot of support over here at 2100. I wouldn't be greedy on your entries. Okay, I'm not going to be greedy on my entries. But I like Ethereum in the macro. I anticipate a little bit of a back test. We've already gotten across to the downside. This got really, really hot on the 5-hour, 94. But I anticipate it to be an uptrend. We were in a downtrend. We broke the downtrend, and I anticipate higher highs, higher lows from here. So any dips from now until then are in for buying. For buying. Okay. XRP has broken from this fractal, and we have gotten at the retracement. This is an eerie zone, so to speak. Between the 0.5 and the 702 is an eerie zone. Okay, that's the retracement zone. I anticipate a little bit of waddling for XRP until we get above the 702, which is $2.77. And we could even do what Bitcoin just did. What did Bitcoin do? Bitcoin broke above the 702 and looks to be back testing it before going higher. That's pretty much what I anticipate from XRP. The next leg is going to take us to about 420 blazing. $5, $8. That's where I'm going to be de-risking on XRP. Again, same thing. Any dips for XRP from now until the next year or so are for buying, are for longing with the correct low leverage. ADA, I just made a video on ADA, but same thing. This is broken. This is one of my favorite charts in the micro and in the macro. But in the macro, this is your selling climax, your secondary test, and your spring goes lower. This is accumulation, working on the sign of strength, back test of the prior range. And the next micro leg is going to take us to about $1.80. Link to me looks very good. Same thing. It has the same setup as ADA. Everything looks the same. Do you know why everything looks the same? Because they're all going to do the same thing at the same time. Okay. Everything everywhere all at once. That is what is up with the market. In my opinion, we have broken course. So we were in a downtrend from November till April. April, we broke the downtrend, and now we're in an uptrend. It's going to be grueling, slow, until it is not. Do not be greedy with your entries. People are greedy at the top and they're greedy at the bottom. When we pull back, people get greedy and they say, I'm going to wait for X number to happen and then I'm going to go all in. Don't be greedy. DCA, don't be over leveraged. But now it's the time for looking for opportunities. There will be pullbacks. There will be dips. Those are opportunities. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let's get into your guys' comments, questions, concerns. And if you're watching this video post, make sure you guys subscribe and follow me for more.